Good evening, everyone, and welcome to something very special tonight. Namely, I will go over a very old Snuffleupagus versus Scotsword game from Duos and Darkles Finals, and I will try to discuss especially the Dracula perspective on what could have Snuff done differently. Because in my opinion, it is a very interesting game. Snuff did some decisions uh, according to his best judgment, and I just thought that going over them and talking about alternatives will be a fun thought experiment. It is sometimes hard to say, like if an alternative is like better or like strictly better, but sometimes having an idea in your mind what can be done differently can, extend the worldview and diverse your strategy. And obviously, diversity is good. Diversity is good, so it is quite important to have many tools in your toolkit. I worked this game before. Uh, I remember there was few points when I was thinking, "Oh, I would have done differently." But it was quite a long time ago, so I don't remember many details. I don't know if I will remember any details, so we will see. Uh, First of all, we can see that it is Scotsword standard standard startup. So nothing, not too much to talk about here, but we have quite a curious Dracula hand, namely nothing worth of maturing. But we do have desecrated soil that heals you. We do have 2 combat encounters, and you do have bats. So in my mind, it will be immediately okay. Mina is not swapped with Steward. Maybe start east and try to do something with bats. Some bat traps, some assassination Dracula, something like that. And you do have desecrated soil. So, if you get damaged, you mature that, and sometimes you get, uh, you know, heavenly hosted early or like heroic clipped early, and it can be quite detrimental when hunters are closing in and you are in like close location of the east and not very obscure. But then if hunters expend resources and you heal free health on top of that, it can be quite swingy in Dracula favor actually. So let's see what Snuff will do. He thinks on starting east. I will actually speed up it a little bit. Maybe 125 will be good. He's thinking. Should I give him a little voice? I don't hear. What? Okay. Okay. What will you do, Mr. Stuff? He's thinking that it's tricky. It is. It is slightly because, yeah, Yeah, I think everyone knows. It's easy to say go for Assassin Dracula, but it is difficult and very risky playstyle. So also, not it is even sometimes good if you can go for assassination or some fighty Dracula and still have something that can mature behind it. Uh, it is like double dipping. Okay, let's see. If I remember correctly, he did start east. Okay, let's speed up it a little bit. Don't go over it. If you want to go over Snuff's perspective, obviously go and watch his video. I don't want to drag too much and like layer 2 commentations on top because then I think it will be too dragged. Especially if someone already watched his perspective, then why force people to watch this second time? So I will try to do it fairly quickly. Salonika start, a very decent start, especially that you don't have anything too worthy of mature. then maybe you don't misdirect your starting location and you go back as a lair. Then Salonika, Sofia are really good starting hideouts because it is fairly easy to go back there and have a lair and like salvage a little bit the situation that you don't plan to mature anything. So you also don't really care that much about being revealed or giving that one extra spot of Revelage for hunters. Okay, what will Snuff do? He goes to Sofia, which makes sense. In this bet, yeah, placing bats is really good. Central location. Now, it is fairly easy for hunters to go there. So you probably will trigger them. That's one part. And secondly, you will be able to push hunters either to the lair in 46 or to some hideout or to some trap. There are many. Escape route Lumina. That's untasty. And bats are good. Additionally, what you could have done is put Saboteur there. Just to be like little bit tricky. That hunters go there, and the next location is in danger of maturing. Maybe you put as next location you put bats with rumor, so hunters will panic. Oh no, we have to go there and trap, and actually it will have to be reached by second hunter, not the prime hunter. So maybe not as well prepared for stuff. Here, actually, I think it is a mistake. To be honest, I don't think there's a single reason to misdirect that first location. Just because, why do you do this? Usually you misdirect when you want to avoid hunters revealing this location with newspapers. But you have bats in Sofia. You want hunters to reveal it and go there. So if you deny hunters' ability to go there, you're like a little bit playing against what you're doing yourself. And especially that you don't have anything to mature, so you lose the ability for the early game high roll of getting some early game advantage. You deny also yourself the ability to go back there and even out odds a little bit by double stacking encounters with hideouts and with lairs. So yeah, I think this was just a playing out of habit. So we're sitting in 10. Now double saboteur. That's interesting. You can do something with that because here, I'll go a little bit. Here you have double saboteur. What you can do, okay, you have bats in 50. So first hunter that will go there will hopefully get batted. And then you can place double saboteur, so the next hunter will be delayed when searching stuff. And this means that the very hunter that gets batted away basically doesn't have any help, doesn't have someone to run to them and save them. So if you prepare some nasty trap with mob and wolf, primary double encounters for some assassination traps, because it will always give you a lot of information and always deal some damage. So it is really good for fighting a hunter. So you can already plan for having a trap with wolf and mob, and then maybe placing double saboteur so that you single out one hunter with bats and the other one is delayed for almost eternity. Will it work? I don't know, but if it works, it is like super evil. Okay, what will do Snuff here? Goes to Constanta, which makes sense. Goes to will force hunters to, after clearing all the uncomfortable stuff, actually plays Saboteur. That's neat. Will force them to go even further away when he can like wolf form over, or maybe even go over, and he will be going like one direction, and hunters will be forced to go other direction and get delayed and have difficulties to searching for him. Hopefully. And so yeah, usually when you think on making traps and assassinating, usually it is a good idea to like stack damaging encounters and just wear hunters down. But in this situation, if you manage to split the hunters and one hunter gets damaged and the second one gets delayed, uh, it can be even better in this sense. Helsing is thinking, usually paramount. Oh, we've got one. Okay. Paramount to Dracula strategies is to carefully watch what hunters are doing. But here probably I will not have as much attention span. Interesting to note, Mina is scanning very early, so there is something with the... Ooh, nice. There is some... Ooh. This is information about hunter tickets. Okay, so a stake is discarded. I think there's only one stake, not two stakes, and you have fighter vampires and you have hidden schemes. And you have bats at 50. So there is... Ooh, Heavenly Host discarded. So some really good items there. So there is a lot of room for trapping and for being very nasty. It is a shame that you don't have a lair in 46 because then it is, I think there were 3 fighter vampires in hand, then you go to 56, and then you wolf form to 46, play second vampire, and then you hidden schemes to play third vampire, and this is, and you rumor it, and this is like maybe guaranteed mature, to be honest, because fighting through 3 fighter vampires, nasty stuff. And if anyone would walk to Sofia, being ambushed at night by double vamps, that's nasty. Okay, game is afoot. Bucharest. Bucharest is a little bit tricky because there are plenty of good locations to be next to. 28 is surprisingly good. Not very good, but surprisingly good. Usually 28, I think, is better as a starting hideout, not the hideout with the first encounter. Galatz, obviously. Sofia. So it can... Oh, Mina is actually ticketing. So there were 2 scans and then a ticket. That's interesting. Okay. Do you place... You can place few things here. You can place desecrated soil. That makes sense because you are damaged. So maybe next turn you wolf form and then you start building like super hideout with hide and hidden schemes and waiting to trap hunters, and you're already damaged, so having that heal in the pocket is really nice. But stacking vampires is also good. The only downside that it is big city, so if someone goes here, fights through like some vampire, losing some stuff and fighting with some stuff they can supply for the stake and then win anyway. Okay. Ooh, Constanta. So here goes. Interesting. So did he have... What was that guess? Okay. Ooh, Jonathan Harker. That's very timely, Jonathan Harker here. Helps a lot. hunters start moving. So you still have few days when you are 1v2. Okay. And this is quite decent situation in a sense that actually in your position, oh, nice. You know about the stake. Saboteur played its role. So this is a decent situation in Dracula in the end because you can like hide or feed. Maybe probably hide is better. And then if Mina visits 50, you can ambush her with bats, and it is win for you. And if she cannot reach 50, you can just go back there for triple encounter lair, and it is also good for you. So this is uh, very decent spot to be in. This is a cool thing about bats and using them in lairs is that usually when they're not searched, they wasted because you don't mature. But when you go back and build triple encounter lair, and one of the encounters is bats, that is such a strong lair because you can do so much. Either in case of bats protecting vampires, so for example, hunters go in, they're being fanged by fighting reckless vampires, give you point, and then being batted away, so those reckless vampires can fang for even more points, or just load of damaging stuff and then being pushed into more damaging stuff, so maybe kill a hunter. Yeah, hiding. I think hiding or wolf forming, wolf form just to build distance. When hunters are delayed and just gathering, it totally makes sense. But hiding is also good. You can do a lot here. Mob makes sense. You could also build triple vamps, but maybe mob is better. Because mob is like guaranteed damage, and you can use then a vampire later to leave it matured. To leave it, yeah. I mean, to just place it into the hideout and threaten mature. So this is important. I've and this is the tricky part because yeah, okay. Scotsword plays extremely safe here. I totally respect that. Uh, he doesn't go to unrumored Sophia when he knows exactly that Dracula is at 56 hiding. He totally has, this is, it's a shame that you don't have hoax, but this is a cautious, strategic Scotsword that doesn't go into easy traps. So this is really good. This is really good. Even despite the fact that he has the escape route, so some of people would feel safe. Oh, you had aristocratic? No, you just got aristocratic. Yeah, double rats and salt. Nice. Okay, free healing. In my opinion, now this is like the easiest. You put reckless vampire there. You go back there. You put second reckless vampire there, and then you use hidden schemes to put third vampire there, and then you have one vampire on hide, and then you have three fighter vampires uh, with maybe you don't even need three fighter vampires. No, here Lairs are yeah, okay. I think I know why I had in mind that I want to recast this game. Okay, here I think you have either wolf formed on the previous turn, or Now you go back to the lair. There's such a juicy lair waiting for you. Why not go there? You'll be totally safe. It's not like hunters can do anything about it. At least not much. And you can put even not 3 fighter vampires. You have bats, so it protects them. You can put like 2 fighter vampires and let's say soil. So you have that little. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here, like in theory, vampires can deal 4 damage per fight. So 2 vampires can deal 8 damage per fight, but realistically, it won't happen. Yeah, okay. And but will still 2 vampires on damaged hunter. It can be tricky to clear both of them. So yeah, and imagine you are at 50 right now on 3 encounters and cackling, and hunter next to you is just being very damaged. Ooh, yeah. Whoa. Okay. So no, you wouldn't be able to go there because of height, but okay. Alas. Nicely done. Okay, very well played by Scotsword, and now puts a lot of pressure. So it is a shame that the bats went completely useless because probably hunters are never going back to 50. And since you didn't go back to 50. Okay, you can go back to 50 right now. It is much more dangerous because of consecrated ground, much less efficient because you don't have wolf form. I mean, you get 1 heal, but does it change that much? But still, and the lair will not have at least 2 fighter vampires, and difference between 1 and 2 is a big difference. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Imagine you had 46, not imagine the same game, but you didn't misdirect 46. And then you go to 50, you have 3 encounters, and then you go to 46 and you have 2 encounters, while Godalming has only 1 health, right? Uh, hmm. I remember that. Yeah, he matured. He learned Desecrated Silence instead of maturing, and that is a misclick. That's a shame, but a misclick can happen to anyone. Not much you can do here about it. Yeah. I mean, misclick on not maturing the Desecrated Soil. 3 health is quite a lot. Do you go back to Sofia now? So he wolfformed and then go back to Sofia. Interesting. It is slightly dangerous when not on full health and not having the wolf form, but Godalming has 1 health, so I think it is still preferred. Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, and that's the issue with not using the lair, is that you are going towards 2 fresh hunters that are moving toward you and cutting off your escape route, right? So strategically, I think this is a disadvantage, and hunters can safely just cut you out and just wait a little bit. They're not in a hurry anywhere because the trail is empty for a few days. If you had the lair, the trail would also be empty for a few days, but the lair would be so big and dangerous that it would require some reaction probably sooner rather than later. So, yeah, yeah. And you don't have wolf form, right? So hunters know that, okay, we go to 38 and basically cannot go past through the east. So basically, Dracula has to go to the sea soon. Yeah, okay. So this is tricky situation. Like one hunter is very damaged. Also, actually, 6 and 49 were good location to put some delaying matures like aristocratic and hoax, because you were not in any threat back then. So it is good to use those encounters. And if hunters search them, they're losing stakes or they're losing uh, time, giving you time. So I think 6 and 49 were like the best spots for hoax aristocratic, and then you can put some. Oh, that's dangerous. I see. What is it about Helsing going to 58 just in case? Yeah. Wow. Okay. I remember that early in the tournament, Scotsword was playing a little bit recklessly, going into unnecessary fights and losing lots of them. Maybe not lots of them, but losing some of them and then having difficult times in the game. But here he's like playing, using the necessary resources to just be safe. Funnily enough, if he didn't use the speedy telegraph, he would be able to use scouts to first scout and not use the speedy telegraph. But you don't always have that. And so that's the thing. At this point of the game, Dracula is starting to be in heavy disadvantage. And it turns out the classic game that, okay, hunters just are finishing solving their stuff, gathering the resources, and what do you have? You don't even have full health, right? And you have nothing. So this is and you don't have wolf form. So going to sea is super dangerous unless you go for quite one, two, what, three sea spots, and you are at 20, like, and you're at 12 health. So yeah. Hmm. I think I don't know if rumoring here. I think matter of taste in most cases. Probably there is at least one stake somewhere around because like one was used, one was discarded. So one vampire will not be difficult to do anything about that. If you had a triple encounter there. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I was saying that I don't know if my advices will be, oh, interesting. I mean, Seward discarded the stake and never traded. What, did Seward discard? Maybe Seward didn't discard. So I'm not sure. That one, the first point is so important, right? So I don't know if I wouldn't ambush anyway. On the other hand, you have rumor later. So maybe if hunters, even if they do have a stake, maybe don't search it with a stake anyway. So that can be a good decision in the end. And that's the issue. Godalming has already 6 health, so he is somewhat combat ready, especially if hunters will 3v1 you, for example. Oh, no stake, but dogs. So you know that Seward has dogs and horses, which is good for you. But okay. It is not ambush, so just fanging doesn't give you a point. But if you manage to mesmerize, that can be a big deal. Escape, okay, totally respectable. And now claws or plot. Against Scotsword, you don't have much choice. I would have strength, maybe strength. If hunters have pistol is also a good thing to play here usually. More in day fights. In night fights, it can be broken. Yeah, strength makes sense. Middle of the road. Okay, yeah, that's good. With claws, we would have dealt more damage, but still good result. Yeah. Now, will you fang into the knife? But I don't think there's that much choice here, especially that you have two fangs, so the fangs is a really good choice. I mean, once you dealt 2 damage, you can think on dealing 4 more. It puts out of use Hunter for a little bit of time. But since this is Steward, I think Bite can be more useful. Okay, so this was really good. Not forward, not ambush into night fight with dealing some damage and getting point and bite. Very nice, very nice. Mina discarded escape route to have plant ambush. But again, I may be repeating myself a little bit, but if that wolf form wasn't a wolf form, but instead for a free encounter lair, that and hunters have damaged Godalming and beaten Seward, that would have been much different game. And you would still have wolf form, so you can wolf form in any case. Like any case. What does it mean any case? But maybe. So this is tricky now. This is tricky for both of parts. You are quite cornered as Dracula, but it is much better to be like at 55. Maybe much better. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. So Stewart has forewarned. You know that, and is showing that forewarned, which is very nasty. So is it like a daring? Look, Godalming doesn't have forewarned because Stewart has forewarned. Usually, on average, like statistically speaking, what are the odds for Godalming having forewarned? But why Hunters is showing forewarned on Stewart? I think if I would have guessed, probably Godalming has forewarned. This is the only reason. Like there are plenty of other powers. Yes. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I wasn't sure. I didn't 100% remember that, but like there's wait, because hunters don't have any other event there. Okay. Yes, sure, they didn't have any other event. Interesting. Okay, so that changes all the logic because they didn't have a choice. So it's not like they chose to show forward. Tricky. Yeah, well, that's bad luck for hunters to have double forward so early and so well positioned. But on the that's really cute. Shorted courage. Wait, so this is nasty. This is nasty situation. 3v1 so early. A lot depends on plant ambush. Just plant ambush. Okay. What do you do here? So what do we know? John Stewart has Horse and dog, so he has 2 items. And we don't know much more. Mina, that... yeah, and that's basically all the information that we have. Godaming also has a horse. Mina doesn't have a horse. And she has a knife. If you have a strength, you can at least strength Mina. Yeah, what do you do here? So what were Dracula cards? So in my mind, Godalming is either dodging, punching, heavenly host, or rifle. That's a lot of things, right? Whoa, this is scary. Seward can basically do almost anything. I don't remember this card pile. Godalming, I would place Godalming on... I don't know. You need to survive to at least escape as mist. Yeah, you can try killing something. Usually against Scotsword, sometimes it is a good idea to claw round 1. Oh yeah, okay. Too fast. Let me show that again. So bullets, rifle, pistol, heavenly host, pistol, bullets. Okay, no bullets. This is important. 2 rifles, 2 pistols, 1 heavenly host, right? Seward didn't manage to trade with anyone. I mean, it does make sense to strengthen Godalming. Because even if he just punches, it puts him on lower health. It's a claw, yeah. Heavenly host. This is still okay, I think. I think this is still okay at this point. Like with the hand that you had, this is one of the best outcomes. So you have low health, and here just a punch. Okay. So more or less this is as good as it could have been. Now, Mina, probably she has a second knife, so you can think on strengthening her, flanking Godalming, but he might dodge. Seward can... So Mina, in most cases, she will play second weapon, so like strengthening her most probably will always has good value. Godalming will either dodge, escape, or Hunter just flaunt. This is like so many lines are open here for hunters, because like if Godalming dies, this is not the worst of the deals. If they manage to kill Dracula, right? Okay. So this is curious. But if you survive 1 round, you can escape. Try escaping. Fanging Godalming can be dangerous if hunters go for the kill and just like triple knife, right? Godalming can dodge, can have rifle. Very little information here. Really good jump by Scotsword. That's the thing. Actually, this is funny to think about. If Reckless Vampire dealt 4 more damage instead of biting, in this specific situation could be more valuable. Would be more valuable short term, but less valuable long term. Yeah, this is difficult. I think there are many ways to play this, like strengthening Mina, strengthening Seward, strengthening Godalming, basically any of them, funking Godalming. probably not fanging anyone else. I would guess clawing anyone but Godalming, well, also clawing Godalming also makes sense. So basically any line of play can be valid here with some reasoning, because we have very low information on hunters' items. That's the thing. So the range is almost anything can happen, right? If you just wager on surviving, strength, Seward, or Mina is totally valid. Rifle, okay, yeah, makes sense. It also makes sense for hunters to, for Seward and Mina to play rifles if they have to protect Godalming. So he played a rifle, okay. So we know that Godalming doesn't have anything else, so you can escape as bats. Which is interesting, yeah. So this was interesting play in a sense that, okay, double right that Scotsword played for the kill. Basically, if you played close on anyone but Mina, you would have died. And if hunters have great strength, you would have died regardless. So this is interesting. Yeah, okay. Now you have to escape as bats. You get the feedback, which is a small yes, Snuff, you can escape to there. Okay, so that was good combat actually. Clawing Godalming might have pressured hunters uh, might have pressured hunters in the like strengthening Godalming wouldn't do that much. Yeah, would be the bad play there. So the fact that you clawed him, it was probably the best outcome. So this was good for you. Strengthening Seward was good, not as good as strengthening Mina, but this is one health difference. Not not important, but still good. Strengthening Godalming would be the best, obviously, because it would cost them an event or a life. I wonder if he played so boldly the attack there. Yeah. So this is the thing is, you don't get that much out of this lair because you probably die before it. Something needs to happen. Like for example, yeah. For example, if that wolf form was instead a double triple encounter lair or quadruple encounter lair, because you could have used hidden schemes on that one, and it could have been like bats, double vamps, and desecrated soil, right? Yeah, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but but my point is, encounters. If you find an opportunity to beat a nasty lair, sometimes you may see like not sure why you're doing that at this point, but when you're a week later and then you have that super important big lair that either takes hunters away our attention from you, or it matures and gives you some health and power, it can be game saving, life saving, or no life saving. Like you, yeah. I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, so this is really, really tricky situation. Obviously, everyone knows you're going to the castle here. You basically don't have choice, because if you uh you right, if you went to 17, it is just a slow death, because you have 2 health. This is weird with the uh double move here, but you should ambush here with wolves, because Stuart has dogs, which is a minor thing, but important thing. I don't think that Godalming should have even went to 6. I think he should have stayed in place and healed. So Belgrade is just wolves. Yeah, if that was like aristocratic vampire, that would be good, because it would delay hunters. A hunter, right? Wolves is decent anyway, because after fight, they're losing items, you're damaging them anyway. I mean, hunters have dogs here, but usually you don't play around that. Oh, there's a stake. That's important knowledge. Okay. So this is very tricky situation. It seems like you lost a game, but let us assess situation. First of all, we have a Godalming with 2 health, horse and rifle. So not very scary out of the hunters. We have Seward. He has a lot of health. He has a bite. Sometimes matters. But he has horse, stake, and dogs. Almost not threatening at all. With the fact that you have 2 health and everything is threatening to you. But you know, if you go to the castle, you have Mina, which is actually stocked. She has double knife and something, we don't know what, but she doesn't have mobility. And you have Helsing. And Helsing is a wild card here. Probably has Heavenly Host, I would wager, because out of all the used cards, unless Mina was using Heavenly Host round 3, I don't know. I mean, even if she had, she would. Okay, most probably. I mean, there's Heavenly Host either in those 4 cards, or Helsing has it and Mina has it. In my mind, the highest probability is for Helsing. What else can Helsing have? Helsing cannot have rifle, because we saw all rifles in the game. Helsing can have a knife or a pistol, something like that. So after all of that, we can a very good knowledge or and guessings about hunter rangers. So Helsing is super dangerous, but he's not using horse. Mina is super dangerous and he's not using horse. And those hunters who have horses, they don't have items. I think it was mistake, by the way, by Scotsword. He needed to trade with Mina at night and give Seward, unless he did and I missed that. No, he didn't. Uh, so he needed to trade with Seward and just stock him with like double knives, and Seward can alone kill you. So this is Overlook. What he did at night even with Mina? I don't remember. Maybe he Mina scanned. I mean, that may. What happened? Yeah. So you have slight little bit of time, a very low amount of time. Oh, and Sarajevo is a vampire that beaten Seward, and Seward had a stake when he was beaten and searching uh, into the night fight. So it was really good bait in the end. That was good bait by Snuff. With the no, you can run, but you cannot hide. It was really good bait by Snuff with that reckless vampire. It paid out. He's going in. Okay. Ah, no, he's He's encircling him. Yeah. He is basically forcing him to wolf form out, which totally makes sense. The issue is obviously that Sarajevo can mature, and who cares? Like this is 4 points at this stage of the game. This game, it is difficult to go with this game to week 3, right? To survive next week. Oh, so wait, why did he go there? Okay, you need to double ambush here because this is just because Mina had no choice because she had no horse and probably what she has 2 white ones. Yeah, get him onto the spy or something. Do you have a okay? So this is this is tricky now. This is salvageable. Still, if he had fog, second fog, yeah. That's you needed to ambush Stewart here. You know he doesn't have uh, Heavenly Host because you know all of his items, and then you would have gotten your second fog from these 3 encounters, and it would allow you to now wolf form into fog, and you you can survive it at least 1 day. But what next? What, Wolfram to 17? Yeah. And the thing is that Stewart is not dangerous alone. Not much. He might have lucky find, I don't know. And if someone joins Stewart, you can fog because Stewart has forewarned. And this game wasn't played a year and a half ago. Okay. Interesting. Like this game after all of that I feel is still like extremely difficult. Like you have 5%, 10% of salvaging it, but it isn't impossible. Probably mostly because hunters didn't trade Mina knives to Scotsword, to Seward. So a rare blunder by Scotsword, I think. I'm not sure what was reasoning behind that. So you can do something with that. Yeah, you need to. Valona is a spy, so spy can be a decent push. Not sure if 56 is still there. Oh wait, night fight. Yeah, wow, this is good. This can give you stuff. Like if you push Mina here and then you mature the vamp, you suddenly have a lot of. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. Mina most probably has a white one. Hmm. Interesting. Funny that in the end, though, those bats played a big role. You have to mesmerize into fangs, or else this combat is not very meaningful. But Mina has double knives, so you know. Yeah, anything can happen here. I don't think anything can happen here, to be honest. He can play any of the basic cards. He will not play knife. Okay, escape. Now good. Now you're in a really good, not really good spot, but you can definitely play any of the free cards because the most scary for Hunter in theory is plotting, because if he doesn't punch, then the plotting gives you a lot of advantage. So he may punch. So if you expect punch, you may fang. So any of the free plays is valid here, to be honest. I would guess, what would I guess? A dodge? But it is, I don't know. This is, I don't know. Punch, okay. Yeah. So actually, now you open your way into both fangs and claws. Ooh, do you claw or do you fang? Fang, if you kill, you get one more point. I think I fangs here. Because why the hell not? Honestly, I expect Scotsword to escape here, because he is forked by too many things and he wants to just get away from here as fast as possible. So I think, and especially that knife doesn't kill you, I think Fangs is the best play. Oh, okay, that's excellent. And Mina dies, so there's no great strength. Wow, okay, one dangerous hunter down. And what's happening here? Why my connection is down? What is like YouTube favoring hunters? What is happening here? Yep. Okay. Oh wow. So if you strengthened Godalming in that 3v1, Godalming would have been dead too. That would be a completely different game. Nice. Okay. Definitely mature. That's a shame on one hand, but on the other hand, okay, now I think like that's the thing. I think it was an ambush on the. Oh, that's. I don't remember that, but that's not a play. That's not a play. You either free. Wow, that actually is also a lot of important knowledge. So you either feed in place or you will form to port. That I don't think I completely don't understand that play. On 7 health, you yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I do see a point. You go, you funk your 9 health. But now, Godalming has 7 health. He can just go for punches. What did Godalming? But Godalming has rifle, right? Yeah. So it is like 2v1 with a hunter that can punch you. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. And you don't have. No, that was. I like the boldness, but it was close game. I think it was. Oh, lucky fight. It's bad. Like, especially that Helsing wasn't on a rail and doesn't seem like having horses. Nice horse. Horse. Yeah, so horse was one of those bottom cards. What do you strength? You probably strength Helsing or Godalming. That totally makes sense. Unless, did you have Claw? Let me see. No, okay. Depends. Either good hand or bad hand. You have double strength. So we know that Helsing has Heavenly Host, maybe two. And that Heavenly Host basically seals the deals if it lands. Does he use Heavenly Host turn 1? He doesn't. He opens probably with triple punch, right? He probably opens with the triple punch. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You have 5 health. So, and Heavenly Host probably is going at your way right now, or not. That can be a weapon turn. Oh, thanks. I would play Strength on Godalming probably. It is probably a turn when he plays weapons. I don't know. I would play Strength on Godalming, I think. That makes sense. What if it's Heavenly Host? No, not Heaven. He still can play Heavenly Host for. Yeah, I would play Strength on Godalming, definitely. Wait, Helsing has double Heavenly Host, no? Oh no. And he Heavenly Host. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mm, I would have played Strength on Godalming because we know he has to play his rifle now, so you know it works. But it is interesting. It was bullets. I wouldn't play. No. Yeah, I think it is valid, but you know that he has Heavenly Host. Usually, turn 3 is good for Heavenly Hosting, but maybe he has 2 Heavenly Hosts. It just because Mina discarded all the knives and we saw all the rifles, so we knew. I had only circle to get Seward. What circle? Hmm. This is funny because if you strengthen Godalming, you end up on 1 health. No, but then when you fang, just pistol and 2 punches kill you, right? Yeah. Unless, so you had to go for the kill, but you didn't have claws. Yeah, I think in the end going on Seward was a mistake. Was bold and nice, but a mistake. You stay in place and you either hide or feed. But probably you wolf form. When you wolf form, you don't need, you probably don't need fog because you will still have 6 health and hunters are not really too well equipped. Only Van Helsing. But then you try to like move again and then you feed and then see what happens. But it was salvageable, it was salvageable, I think. Very cool game. Like you managed to survive the very deadly 3v1. If only you build a lair. Yeah, yeah. But okay, that was interesting game. I think there were uh, hmm, what you could have done, maybe Wolfram to Godalming. You had a lair there, so you have encounter that protects you, and then you try to batter him a little bit, so he is in a death range. And if he stays, maybe kill him. Maybe that's the play. That would be a line of play. But very risky though. Yeah, okay. So, okay, that was interesting game. It was cool game. Let me know what you think, especially Snuff. What do you think? with my comments. Obviously, anyone can give a comment, and if anyone wants, I can also watch their game and give some thoughts. Okay, so that's all for now, and have a good night.